you won't become me. Dad, I remember you coming home drunk, stumbling through the doorway, looking for someone to blame. Bottles on the table, anger in your eyes. I could feel the whole room change before you said a word that night. You were supposed to be the one who kept me safe, but I learned how to feel the sound of your footsteps. Every little mistake could turn into a war, and I never knew which version of my father walked through that door. Mom worked all day just to keep us alive, while you sat at home drinking, letting anger decide. She came home exhausted, you would tear her apart, and I stood there watching with a hole in my heart. I was just a kid that I didn't understand why the man I looked up to could hurt with his hands. You were supposed to teach me how a man should be. Instead you taught me everything a father should never be. Dad, I still remember everything you did, every word, every scream, every time I was scared as a kid. You left scars on me that nobody can see, but you don't get to decide the man I'm gonna be. I spent years carrying anger in my chest, trying to understand why I was never enough. But the cycle stops here, you won't live through me. You were my father, but you won't become me. I remember the nights when the house went cold, Mom trying to hold us together while you lost control. I remember the fear when I heard you shout, thinking please God don't let him find another reason now. There were times you put your hands on us, times your anger went further than it ever should. I remember being thrown against the wall, wondering how the man who made me could make me feel so small. And maybe you don't remember any of it, maybe alcohol erased the things you did, but I remember every second, every sound, every time I wish somebody would come around. I used to blame Mom for staying with you. I couldn't understand what fear can make a person do. She wasn't weak, Dad, she was trapped in the same place, trying to protect the children while hiding all her pain. And I hated you for making our home feel unsafe, for making me afraid of the person I called Dad. I hated myself for wishing you would disappear, then hated myself even more for still wanting you near. Dad, I still remember everything you did, every word, every scream, every time I was scared as a kid. You left scars on me that nobody can see, but you don't get to decide the man I'm gonna be. I spent years carrying anger in my chest, trying to understand why I was never enough. But the cycle stops here, you won't live through me. You were my father, but you won't become. I'm older now, Dad, and I finally understand. You were fighting demons you refused to face as a man. Maybe somebody hurt you when you were young, maybe nobody taught you where love was supposed to come from. But that's not an excuse for what you did to us. Pain doesn't give you permission to destroy someone's trust. You had a choice every time you raised your voice, every time you picked the bottle, every time you made that choice. And I made a promise that I'll never be you. I'll never make my children afraid to tell me the truth. I'll never turn my anger into somebody else's pain. I'll never make the people I love walk on eggshells again, because I know what it feels like to sleep with fear, to pretend you're okay when you're falling apart inside. I know what it feels like to hate your own home and wonder why your father makes you feel alone. So I'm taking back everything you took from me, my confidence, my voice, my ability to believe. You gave me scars, but scars don't make me weak. They remind me of the man I promised I would never be. Dad, I don't need you to admit it anymore. I don't need an apology to know what happened. I remember Mom crying. I remember being afraid. I remember the silence afterward. And most of all, I remember being your son and wondering why my own father was the person I feared the most. Dad, I still remember everything you did, but I'm not that frightened little kid anymore. You don't control my life, you don't control my mind, and I won't spend forever living in the shadow you left behind. You gave me scars, but you don't get my future. You gave me anger, but I choose something better. You were my father, that's something I can't change, but I can choose what your bloodline means from this day. The pain ends here, the fear ends here, the silence ends here. You may have been my father, but you will never be me. I used to think your anger was my inheritance. Now I know it doesn't have to be. You broke something in me, but I rebuilt it. And the cycle you started, it ends with me. Oh.